Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SNEAKERHISTORY10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SNEAKERHISTORY10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a LeBron James with no regard for human life. Final seconds. Bryant for the win. Iverson against Gill, the crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. I am your host, Mike. And guys, we have a very, very special guest today. Someone who has been a part of the shoe customization, putting out some, awesome product. I have been able to see it from just some of the information I was providing. It was amazing stuff. And have no one other than Nick Avery of theheyyman. Nick, man, how's it going?
It's going very well, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. Hey, I appreciate you joining us today. I mean, with sneakers, I feel like always changing, and whether it be the latest and greatest collaboration or basically historic product coming back, I feel like in this time, customs have become kind of just huge thing, and a lot of what I've seen your product around, especially the Jordan 1 customizations you do, are huge, man. Like, how'd you find yourself into this in that lane?
So, I mean, I guess really just by mistake. I started out, so I've always been into art. I got a Bachelor in Fine Art from University of Buffalo, my hometown. Yeah. I graduated, couldn't really figure out like what I wanted to do as far as how I wanted to express myself artistically. So it really took a little while of painting my own shoes or trying to spruce up my own pairs to make them newer, cleaner. Everybody deals with, the yellowing of soles and stuff. So I was just trying to find ways of trying to make my worn shoes look better than they were. Yeah. So I was just kind of experimenting with paints, dyes, different things to just try and, make mine better. And, ran into a lot of issues, was using just some spray paints and stuff that immediately would crack off after wear. And then just dove head first into, is there something out there that I can use to, put on shoes that will last longer, hopefully much longer than just one wear, but at least, something better than what I had been using so far. So I started just, customizing a couple pairs just as a way to, again, express myself artistically. I always loved what the Dunks, the SB Dunks were doing, like in the early 2000s. I love how they would take like a theme or a character and apply it to a shoe without having like a picture or, without being overly obvious of what it was. And I thought that was the coolest thing. So that's when I started like collecting Dunks and collecting shoes. And I just I had my own ideas, and I'm like, let me just, put them on shoes. It was just a fun way of doing it, and put them in a couple local boutiques, and people started to reach out to me to like customize shoes. And I'm like, oh man, this is cool. I didn't expect this. I just expected, I could do some stuff and showcase it. So that's really how it started. And, at first it was painting shoes, which grew into painting cleats for athletes. Nice. And then after that, like, even though I was really into art, I was never a big painter. There's so many variables with painting. You could do everything right and stuff still not work out just because of the material of the shoe or whatever it is. So I wanted to learn how to actually make shoes. And I took a couple classes. I interned with a cobbler for a while to learn the ins and outs of, traditional shoe repair and shoe making. And then I just started doing the same thing, taking themes that, are either nostalgic to me or important to me, applying them to some of my favorite silhouettes, and then building shoes in that way, which was really cool because I got to use, different materials. I got to use really cool furs or, almost anything cut up. So, go to the thrift store and find a jacket, a pair of pants, nice. Cut that up. And now I'm making this new product from old products. And really that's how it started. And it got me out to LA. I was creative director for another shoe company for a little while, and just had that itch to get back into doing my own thing. So then in 2019, I started up the Heyman as like a full-time business with a partner. And ever since then, I mean, we've just been, pumping out customs. Obviously, the Jordan 1 is a very recognizable, very sought-after silhouette. So, people love to see different things on that. But, we still stick with the Jordan 1. We do that, but we've grown into, using more silhouettes and even getting into more original footwear and even leather goods in general.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So I was going through your website. I noticed there's like bags. You guys are doing a bunch of different things. So it's not just, hey, we're not just pigeonholed into sneakers. We're ready to do anything. Right. And when it comes to getting prepped for like any kind of customization, or I don't even call it customs at the point, we're really building them up from scratch. Looks like you're breaking them down and putting them back together in your own way, in your own flair. Like, is it, when you say it's more difficult than starting from scratch because you need to put it back the exact same way? It's like taking a car apart and putting it back with all like the extra tuned pieces, or what do you think is easier at that point?
I think that, it took a while to figure out how to do it, but just like anything, I mean, before I even started really feeling comfortable releasing pairs, I think I built 7 pairs. And then after that, when I was like, you know what, I think I got this, I think I'm comfortable, and I think that customers will be satisfied with the product. So, nice. That now to me, that seems like the easier way to go.
Nice, man. Well, like I say, in the landscape of sneakers right now, customization is, I almost feel like, sneakers were always a way people to be like, I want to be an individual, I want to have this sneaker. But with so much of everyone kind of gravitating towards the same shoe, people who are just kind of sick of seeing everyone with the same thing, they go to people like yourself, Nick, to customize. And what people like think of customizing, like you said, originally like paint, but that's not even the case. Like, when it comes to material searching, are you going in and say, okay, for example, we're talking about the Jordan 1 already. Here's the material of the Jordan 1. Or you're going in and basically taking a step further, like, hey, I'm going to redo this, but I'm going to put even nicer materials on it, right?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we always use authentic Jordans to start with. We need that base sole. So, we're removing the upper. We're using authentic Jordan soles. And that's, one of the ways we can get away with doing this is, technically it's providing a service where we're taking, just like an automobile, we're taking your car in, we're painting it, we're redoing the interior, and we're not selling you a Porsche, we're just redoing your Porsche for you. I'm sorry, what was the question originally?
So with the materials, so you're going in, like you said, you're starting with that base of that Jordan, but you're going in replacing with nicer pieces of material, making it more plush than what it started out. Yeah,
so I mean, starting out in Los Angeles, there is so many textile companies or leather shops out there. So you just walk through and even just walking through there, you get ideas of putting together these concepts that otherwise you probably wouldn't have. But yeah, we like to use authentic leathers always, mostly Italian leathers. We work really closely with this Italian factory, so we get some really nice leathers out of there, and then we even use exotic materials. So a lot of authentic crocodile skins or python skins, and then there's even a step further where we kind of experiment with like different materials or the layering of materials or the way materials are used. So yeah, I mean, it's really fun because it's just experimenting all the time. It's just trying new things, and sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, no, definitely what it is. It's like, hey, I'm gonna see if it works. If not, we'll kind of adjust and move. I like that. And I was watching a video of it. It was one of the members of FaZe Clan. They were touring your factory, and you had mentioned something about Stingray, saying as one of the trickier things to work with because I guess it can break, or what is that? So
I mean, Stingray has got to be one of the toughest exotic leathers out there. Yeah, probably the toughest. And essentially, it's like you're sewing through a piece of leather that has glass beads, glued to this thing. So if you hit one of those beads directly, which I mean, and all those little, I'm going to keep calling them beads, but like all those little scales or whatever they are that are on the Stingray, they're so small. There's so many of them. So the chances of you hitting one directly with that needle from the sewing machine is pretty good. So, and it's so tough that sometimes the needle can't make it through and it breaks. Not only that, I mean, even when you are hitting, the softer spots, or even if you are sometimes like, just missing the sweet spot, it's throwing your needle off in different directions. So you can never really get a nice, clean, straight stitch with, equal stitch, an equal stitch length throughout the entire thing.
Interesting. So that makes me wonder when they have some sneakers out there who are using, Stingray, is it actual Stingray because they have these perfect lines or, so I didn't know about that until I watched that video. I was like, then maybe rethink a few other shoes out there. I'm like, I don't know if you guys are really using Stingray.
right. Yeah. So it's tough.
Interesting, man. Interesting. So as you keep going, I mean, I know, you're still out in LA, right?
I'm actually back in my hometown of Buffalo, New York now.
Oh, okay.
I travel out to LA like every 6 weeks. I have a small team out there who's running things. So I do a lot of designing and just, meetings and stuff from here now. Yeah. So I've been back here for about 8 months now.
Okay.
I frequent Los Angeles. I'm actually leaving on Thursday to go back there.
It's like a second home, huh? Now, when someone does order a sneaker off your site, because you have them listed out there, is it something that when they order it, it's made to order, or do you already have like, hey, I got a size, so I'm ready to go, or how does that really work?
No, we have no inventory.
Okay.
So everything is made to order. Everything we ask at least 6 to 8 weeks to build the product. Yeah, which isn't terrible, depending on the backlog. Or depending on, how many pairs somebody orders at once. So yeah, everything is made to order. What we'll do is we'll make one always in a size 9, just in case I want it.
There you go.
And that's the one that we'll take pictures of, showcase and everything. And then if, anybody orders, then that's when we will begin the production process.
Cool. Okay. So do you have teams for that? He's like, hey, you know what? This is my, I see you do New Balance 550s as well. So this is my New Balance team who's been familiar with that product and able to crank those out in those 6 to 8 weeks and do it in like almost to a science. where I have my Jordan 1 team or Dunk team or Air Force team? Or is it, hey, everyone's familiar with every bit of product and they can put their hands on anything?
Yep, everybody's familiar. We have a couple of craftsmen who make everything for us, from the shoes to the bags. It doesn't matter what shoe. They're also very skilled in pattern making. So like I was saying, with original stuff, or if we're trying to develop new bags that, haven't been done before, they pretty much handle everything.
Nice. So with you getting into like the bags and clothing and things like that, are you looking to at some point to, I don't necessarily want to say mass produce, even just like small batch, are you looking to put those things inside of a, if not a resale shop, but open your own brick and mortar to say, hey, come grab these items? Or do you like the made to order?
Yeah, I enjoy the made to order. And I mean, not only that, online and social media has made it so easy to just, sell to anybody that
True.
You don't really need a brick and mortar. At least in our case. So we have a studio and a showroom in downtown Los Angeles, and that's where we make everything. But other than that, no, all of our business is done online. And yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. And I mean, there may even get to a point where we develop some original footwear and we want to mass produce it. And then in that case, maybe we explore some options about putting them into stores, but I still don't think it would ever be really our own store. At least not for the foreseeable future.
Got you. No, it makes sense because like what you do is so specialized, so hands-on, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
With that. Now, with the clothing, I'm guessing the clothing though is something that you guys have kind of just boom, we knock out inventory of them and they're here until they're not, basically.
Yeah, we still keep it fairly limited. I mean, usually 50 pieces if it's a T-shirt or a hoodie, or we've done some ski masks. Nice. I mean, everything we keep pretty limited.
Cool. Well, when you say social media, that's a great. You mentioned it earlier. Did you see the bulkier of your, I guess, being noticed coming from posting on social media yourself? Or was it like, hey, this person had my shoe on and, mentioned it in a post that kind of blew you up? What was that breakthrough moment for you to make, the Hey Man, what it is today?
So, I mean, it's, I've been posting on there since 2012. Again, before I was doing shoes, like I was just into regular, I was doing canvas art or some street art or, so it's just, it's taken a while to kind of build the audience. So I'd say that, once I started customizing cleats for athletes, with them reposting it is where I started to gain more and more traction.
Okay.
One person in particular who I did a custom pair for, who really just over the course of 48 hours shot my follower count up like 10,000 was FaZe Banks from FaZe Clan. Super cool dude. I did a pair for him. He had me up at back when they were staying at the Clout House. Got to go up there, give them to him, and nice. he's going live the whole time showcasing it. So I owe a lot to him, and then there's been a couple other people like that. Not they haven't really gained me as much traction as he did, but there's been others here and there who with their help it helps us grow. Definitely.
And, it's kind of that community when we talk about sneakers, but there are a handful of like customizers like yourself who are just doing just bang up jobs. You like to say you're not just fly by night operation, you're making luxury goods. Do you guys like ever, I guess, is it a community like where you guys get together, share ideas, or is it more like I got to outdo the next person? I mean, friendly competition kind of way.
I'd say friendly competition. There's quite a few customizers that I'm very friendly with, some close friends, especially, in downtown Los Angeles. I could rattle off a bunch of names, but, have them by the studio. It's not like anything secret. I'm not worried about them stealing ideas or anything like that. And I don't think they are either. I think we're all very cordial, very respectable. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's guys out there, I'm a huge fan of, and I'm like, damn, I should have thought, I should have thought of that. But no, it's a friendly competition, and it's fun because, I think we're all on each other's side and all in support of each other.
Awesome. Now, I'm jumping all over the place, I feel like, but you mentioned cleats. So have you ever been able to go in? I feel like cleats are just kind of a whole different animal. A lot more painting and maybe adding things as opposed to breaking them down like our casual shoes.
Right.
But have you been able to do that and break them down and build them back up to something, again, more luxurious than, a normal kind of durable cleat, basically?
Right. Never broke it all the way down to where, like custom sneakers, where we're removing the cleat bottom and building on top. One reason is just liability. There's certain ways that cleats are made, for the most part overseas, that the durability of the adhesion between the upper and the cleat bottom is far superior than anything that we would be able to do in America, especially since like cleats for the most part are, some sort of composite material or a plastic or something like that. So never did that, but we have, created these skins almost that get sewn to the upper. Yeah, so there was, we used to do just small materials, small add-ons here and there, and then there's one customizer who was actually from Buffalo, New York, who really started that whole trend of building this entire sneaker skin, and then pretty much gluing, not only gluing, but then stitching parts of it to the upper. So it looks like it was completely remade. It looks like it's all leather, but really it's built around an existing cleat.
Oh, that's smart. It's almost like putting vinyl on a car, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Would you have to take the cleat bottom off, or is that something you guys stitch just right around the edge of it?
Yeah, right to the edge. Yeah. So the pattern's so that the leather falls right to the edge of the cleat, and then it just gets stitched around down there and stitched around around the collar.
Nice. So you're still getting a lot of business from cleats. The reason I bring it up is because we're in the kind of the.
Okay, time out. Did you know that we have an entire network of podcasts? That's right. It's called the Retrospect Podcast Network, and it includes a number of shows that you might like if you're enjoying this one. First up is for the F1 fans. Exhaust Notes is a Formula One podcast that's the perfect balance for the new fans joining the sport and the tried and true diehard F1 fans who've been there all along. New episodes of Exhaust Notes drop every Tuesday on all of your favorite podcast platforms and at exhaustnotes.fm. We've also got a show for the fitted hat collectors out there called Crown and Stitch. As a baseball fan, I've been obsessed with hats for as long as I can remember, and the number of people collecting now has gone through the roof. It reminds me of sneakers back in the day, and I absolutely love seeing creativity of the new releases. Every Wednesday, we drop a new episode of Crown and Stitch on all of your favorite podcast platforms and on YouTube at youtube.com/crownandstitch. If you follow me personally on social platforms at Nick Engvall, you probably already know I first dipped my toes in the podcast game back in 2015 with a show called Outside the Box. Originally hosted by my friends Brandon Edler and Jacques Slade, it eventually evolved into a show with Tiffany Beers, Jacques Slade, and myself, and then into an interview series with some amazingly creative guests. While the show has gone through a lot of changes throughout the years and is currently on hiatus, a lot of people have been enjoying past episodes recently, and I'm excited to say I have new episodes in the works for the new year. We'll be adding new podcasts to the Retrospect Network in the coming months as well. In fact, if you'd like to advertise on any of the shows, be a guest on any of the shows, or even talk to us about getting your own podcast started, reach out to us at podcast@sneakerhistory.com. And find out more about the podcast network at retrospectpodcast.com.
Nitty-gritty of the football season. I'm sure that everyone who's out there wants to be seen more and more with the playoffs. So are you still getting a lot of calls for custom cleats?
Not so much. No, I mean, cleats is something that I had stopped when I had moved out to LA and when I really just poured my focus into recrafting and remaking shoes. So for the most part, I mean, we'll still work with athletes, but it's really just building sneakers for them, for them to either tunnel walk or, in their personal life.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth because I was going to mention tunnel walk. So with that becoming so popular, it seemed like over the past 3, 4, 5 years, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, have you been able to see some of your shoes, NBA, NFL, you name it, tunnel walks?
Yeah, a couple, definitely a couple NBA guys. Yeah, some NFL stuff. I think even a couple soccer players.
Nice.
We've seen. So yeah, that's been super cool. We actually did since I'm from Buffalo, we actually collaborated with the Bills on it was actually a run of luxury apparel.
Okay.
That was back in, let me think, 2020.
Okay.
We did that, and then to cap it off, we came out with some original footwear that was called the Game Day, and it was based on there was 3 different colors. There was a blue, white, and red, and it was based on the Bills uniforms.
Nice.
And so yeah, a lot of those have got to the players too, and have seen those be worn quite a few times.
That's cool. So you actually had your own sneaker model on the feet of those Bills players.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
So when it in the world of like we've so long we've seen the same shoes over and over and over again. They kind of saturate your mind where you're so used to the same type of silhouette. When you're coming up with a new sneaker silhouette, like all your own, what does that look like for you? Like, what is that method and that process?
So, I mean, you gotta respect what's out there already and what the trends are. Especially being a small business and a custom business, it's hard to create something that's completely brand new, that can still be trend setting, I guess. So, I mean, you've seen a lot of the bootleg dunks and stuff that are out there, the people who are taking, recognizable silhouettes and kind of revamping them or changing small things here or there. That's something similar that we did with this Game Day sneaker. It's very similar to another sneaker that's out there, but obviously you're taking the swoosh off. We're not using Nike soles in this case, and so we created something that is still very recognizable, and I think that moving from customization and trying to get into original footwear, I think that's maybe a stepping stone. That's not a bad idea to hop on, and so people can kind of see the transition of you moving from customs and slowly transitioning to original footwear.
Nice. So with that, do you ever, if you can even talk about it, I know how these things work. Have you ever been approached by brands to do work for them, like under their umbrella as opposed to under the Heyman?
As far as shoe brands?
Yeah.
No, nothing with shoe brands. No, we've worked with other brands, like a telecommunications company where they wanted a custom shoe or a run of custom shoes that they used to help promote the release of a product. So that's what whenever we have companies approaching us to work together, that's generally how it happens with these partnerships.
Got you. Cool, man. And even transition away from sneakers, the bags looks like it's a lot of like patchwork and a lot of just these kind of bespoke bags put together. Are you going and taking like maybe, it's even hard to say like old because I know these bags are like these high-end bags will last forever, or just finding a bunch of older product and piecing them together to make this whole new deal, or is it something like, hey, I'm gonna use a little piece here, but I'm gonna make it my own with all these other pieces of material that maybe no one would have thought of?
It's really similar to shoes where like, okay, if there's a bag out there that we like the look of or like the silhouette, like the shape, we'll take that and we can copy the pattern, or at least, base the pattern around this, existing bag or whatever. And then from there, we're still completely rebuilding. Once we have that pattern, again, we could make it out of any material, anything that we really want to. There have been cases where you mentioned the patchwork bag, where we used pieces of, it was just a small piece. So, with what we do, we generate a lot of scrap. So we try to find ways to take this scrap, which is generally in pieces that it's too small to use on shoes, and just try to do new things with it. So that patchwork bag, you saw some like Louis Vuitton, some Gucci, some, I think some Hermes scarf. There was a bunch of different things mixed in with exotic skins, regular leathers, some patent leathers. So it was really just a bunch of scrap that we had left over that we wanted to build something with.
That's cool. That's really cool. So basically, not only are you building this stuff, but you're being as green with it as possible. Like, hey, we got these extra pieces. Let's go ahead and let's use them for something, which is really cool and respectable because a lot of people just chunk it and on to the next thing.
Right. No, it's hard to throw that stuff out because I either like the material so much, or, I don't feel right just throwing it out. So we just hold on to it until we can figure out something to do with it. Even the uppers that we remove from the soles, we try to find something that we could do with those. And we've been building card holders. We're actually going to have a release here in a couple of weeks where it's just, little square card holder, but it's using pieces from the original uppers. So you'll get you'll get what looks like parts of Jordan 1s, or what is actually parts of Jordan 1s, that we just kind of try to reuse in some way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool, man. I was gonna ask you, it's like, man, you can make some wallets out of that, but you clearly already you already have that.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. No, that's super cool, man. I was just, like I said, just scrolling through everything, man. You guys do so much. Just even just pictures on the internet. It's hard to like look at quality from a picture, but you can just see it. It just really just pops out of the page from your product pictures that you guys are putting out good quality. Now, with the again, most of the product is based around Jordan 1 Dunk right now. Let's say, for example, the Jordan 4 or Jordan 3 becomes the next hot shoe the next couple years. Would you guys phase to work with that product more? Or how does that affect you and your business?
Yeah, I mean, again, we've built 4s, we've built 3, we've built quite a few different Jordans. We've done 11s. And really, I mean, just the look of a Jordan 1, it's just so iconic.
It is.
And I feel like it reaches so many different people, it's whereas when you're getting into the 3s and the 4s, they look more of like a basketball shoe or a performance shoe, not necessarily this lifestyle shoe. And I think that's why people gravitate toward the Jordan 1 is it's just a shoe that you can wear easily with, I've seen people in suits wearing Jordan 1s, or, you could really wear anything. And I think it's a lot easier to pull off than, a pair of, Jordan 7s with your normal lifestyle fit. So, I mean, definitely we've one of my new favorite silhouettes is the New Balance 550, and that's something that's really kind of blown up over the past couple of years. So that combined with, just kind of making what it is that we like and we want to see made, we want to wear. That's kind of like where we start with. We're like, okay, what do we like? What do we want to wear? And then, that combined with, what's hot right now, holidays or events that are approaching, we try to tie in everything and, for a nice story.
No, that's awesome, man. No, it makes sense. Like I said, the Jordan 1 is one of those timeless shoes you can wear with anything. Right. And a 550, have you guys started looking at doing some work on a 650, which is just this higher alter ego?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at some 650s, and we're going to be developing the pattern soon. And that one again is just, I'd say the 550 again is more like the Jordan 1 where it's easier to pull off, but that 650 is, it's just this nostalgic basketball sneaker that I think is really cool. Another one was, and the one that I grew up with was the Iverson Question.
Yeah.
That we strictly went and patterned it and started making pairs based on, just because that was my favorite shoe when I was, 12 years old. So, yeah, again, we just like to make stuff that we want to see, that we like, and then, so far people have responded and kind of agreed with, they like it too.
Nice. So I got to ask you, what are a couple of the favorites that you have put together? Like maybe it's something you offered and don't sell anymore, or something that you have on a site now. Like what is your favorite that you've been making so far?
Okay, I actually have 7 pairs here.
Let's get them.
All right. So, yeah, if we have the time, we can go through all of them. All of them have a pretty awesome story. So we'll start with these. So these are the. Let me move it away from me a little bit. These are the What the Scrap Jordan 1s. So again, every piece is different, using just scraps that we had left over, and this was actually not this pair right here, but this concept was one of the first pairs that I had ever built. I think it was the third pair that I ever built. And I wore those things into the ground. I mean, they're falling apart on the inside. They were my everyday wears for like 6 straight years. So
that's awesome.
So then we kind of took that same colorway and some of the same materials, or as close as we could get, and we remade them. So yeah, all kinds of different. We got like corduroy textile over here, some patent leathers, some regular leathers right here. This is part of a Gucci Ghost. It was like a bag or something like that.
Yeah.
So we got like some.
That's so cool.
Some pony hair here, which isn't real pony, by the way. It is cow. It's just called pony hair in the industry. Some crocodile on the toe. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. It can really be worn with anything. Mismatched soles. So from the bottom to the top, all completely different.
That looks good, man. That is. We'll talk about a what the. That's a heck of a. I love it. I love it.
That's the what the. Yeah, and I mean the what the dunk has got to be one or the number one or number two of my favorite shoes of all time, and someday I'll own a pair. But
you need both, man.
It keeps getting further and further from my grasp. So this is another fun one. This is called the Yeezy Guts. And so all we did was, in the process of, patterning and remaking some Yeezys, we took the uppers off, and we saw that the insides were like way more interesting than the outside. So we pretty much turned them inside out, and then we glued them back to the soles. So, I mean, you can see the size tag still here, all the toe puffs and heel counters. And then we, took the back tab off, put it on the outside. So, yeah, really cool. People see these and they're like, "Wait, what is going on?" So yeah, those were a lot of fun, and a simpler custom, but still.
But I'm not telling you this just because you're here with me right now, but I saw those. I saw a picture of those when I was like just looking up some different product you had offered. And I honestly have to tell you that is probably the best Yeezy that Adidas never has sold, because that is so much cooler than the basic what they're putting together. I would wear those like 100 times over before I wore a normal Yeezy. Like, are you still making those, or that one's done?
We still offer it as a service. You just have to send in your Yeezys, and we just flip them and send them back.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that's dope.
So we've worked with like 3 or 4 different colorways, but I mean, there's so many Yeezy colorways that I'd love to try it with, just because the knit colors are, once you see the inside, the pattern of the knit is so much different than the outside.
So more depth in it that way.
Yeah, right. So
super cool, man. I like that.
This is everybody knows the shattered backboard, but so with this one we took, let's see, so we took a clear PVC and cut out individual pieces and then sewed it to the orange piece. So I mean, it looks like actual shatter. Everywhere on the toe. Like
stained glass, man.
Yeah, almost like stained glass. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah. So, each piece is individual. I think there's over like 150 individual pieces per pair. So this was a heavy hitter, that's for sure.
What are the man hours on that one, just with the individual pieces to put on?
I can't tell you exactly, but way more than a regular. I mean, the prep work that goes into just preparing those panels before it all gets assembled is crazy. Not only that,
so cool.
The patterning before we even get into cutting the material, that's another few hours. That's for sure.
That's dope.
Yeah. So then I got these. So these are the homage diamonds. So a few years ago, Jordan Brand came out with, their homage Jordan 1, which was the bread and the Chicago split right down the middle. So we took that concept and applied it to all 4 of the diamonds.
Man.
Split right down. Back tabs are really cool. So they just have this, it's hard to see, but it's like this Swarovski material back here that gives a really nice glow. tab flips up, and screws come off. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a fun pair. And this is all, on the original, they used some stamped alligator.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this here, this is all actual crocodile skin.
Man, 4 shoes I will probably never have, but I would love to look at that pair. That is
right?
awesome, man.
Yeah.
And so did you, well, I'm guessing you just have to, when you lay out the pattern, you just have to cut it in half and sew it back together with the color and everything dyed?
I mean, you're pretty much cutting it right down the center, and then you're adding a little bit of allowance in order to be able to, stitch it together and flip it so that you can't see the stitch. So yeah, that's what how you would edit the pattern in order to create this.
That is super cool. Oh man, these are so awesome. So it's more excited seeing these than just seeing like the normal. Like you still get excited about the shoes that come out, but you won't ever see these anywhere. So just that it brings you back to that how sneakers were, before, just masses of them, everywhere, the same shoe over and over again. So this, man, what you're doing is awesome.
Thank you. Here we have the Cactus Travis. So, the story, Cactus Jack. So we took this green suede and we edited the pattern so that it actually has like this, these sharp edges.
The jagged.
Yeah, very jagged edges, just to give it that that abstract cactus look.
Yeah.
It comes everything comes with the pocket and everything. So yeah, these were the moon cactus is what we called them, because the moon cactus has like that pink flower that grows at the top. The pink secondary tongue tag and the pink liner.
That's dope. Oh my goodness. So you went in there, did you start with a Travis base, or did you come in there and sew the pockets and create that yourself?
Yeah. We just so we took our original Jordan 1 pattern and then edited it, based on having, an actual pair of Travis right in front of us, whether it's measurements or just looking at, how it's constructed. Just the combination of that is how we, figured out how to put this one together.
Do you ever have a moment of like I figure when you get that shoe in hand, like to get the breakdown of all the specs, you got to cut it up. Do you ever have that moment of like gut wrenching, like I don't want to cut this shoe up?
I used to, but like now, I don't remember the last time I bought a pair of shoes for myself, just because I just wear customs all the time.
Yeah.
Like actual shoes or, they mean less to me now, I guess.
Yeah. Makes sense. It's become, hey, I've done it already. I make my own. This ain't bothering me, so I can understand that.
Right. Yeah. So, all right, I got 2 more. So, again, this is an homage theme, but this is called the top 4. So, really what we did was we took the 4 most hyped silhouettes from 2017 to 2020. So, we have the Travis, and we tried to stay as true as possible to, and try to find similar materials that are actually on the pairs. So, this is all a brown, really nice brown nubuck, some textured pebbled leather, and then, some smooth Italian leathers here. And then on the other side is the Union. With all the, the painted edges, the yellowed edges, the zigzag here. Again, what's really cool about this one is only half of the shoe has the pocket.
Chill out. How did you manage that?
That was that took a couple tries. Yeah.
That's dope. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. So that's that one, and then we have of course, the off-white, using some smooth Italian leathers. This is like a coated foam.
Okay.
Very similar to like what they had on the original, the exposed collar, the wings, and then the Balvin on the other side.
Dude.
So
that is crazy.
Yeah. That was a fun one.
Like, they're all Jordan 1s, but to be able to, they're so different in construction. The way you were able to put all 4 of those together, that's just like a masterpiece within itself. You've been able to make it work. So that is fantastic.
Right. Thank you. And then I saved my favorite one for my last one. So this one, I guess some people might find it a little boring, but so before I even knew how to make shoes, I had a dream about this shoe, and I woke up and I'm like, I'm gonna make this shoe. I got to figure out how to make it. So this is the wingtip Jordan 1.
Oh, that's dope.
So, I mean, combination of, a dress shoe and a high top sneaker. Really, I wanted it because I love that old style, that, roaring 20s. Everybody was dapper as hell all the time. The high hats, the suits, and, just combine it with, my modern favorite silhouette. So this took several tries to make as well. Finally got it. And yeah, it's got the broguing, so it's got all the holes on the side. The swooshes, it's hard to see, but it's kind of jagged. So this is called gimping. So just a lot of traditional shoemaking, paying homage to those with these. So by far the one that means the most to me. And yeah, so that's.
What kind of leather did you use on that one? Was it the Harween leather they usually use for those types of shoes?
No, it's a shoulder leather. So it's cow leather, but it's shoulder, so it's very tough. It marks really well. So the more you wear them, the more personalized they become.
Yeah.
So they'll crease really nicely, and any oils or anything or any scuffs, they show in a really cool way.
Yeah.
So,
man, Nick, that's all of them, all 7 of them. Fantastic, just awesome. The creativity behind each and every one of them is just absolutely amazing, man. Like, is there? I mean, it is crazy stuff. There's a lot of things that I see that you guys offer that wasn't on the list, but equally awesome. So
yeah,
it's not like these are the 7 best ones. We're gonna just kind of write in, phone in the rest. You put in that effort for your favorites, and maybe ones that aren't your favorites. So that is awesome what people will get from your service and from your company. So all I can do is applaud you, because you're bringing back individuality to this sneaker game when a lot of people, again, are kind of running in like packs of the same thing. So I think you're doing fantastic stuff, man. Is there anything new that maybe you can talk about that's coming down the pipeline?
Not specifically talk about, but we've been we've worked with a couple big sporting companies.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a big reveal here in about a month. We have that. We have another custom, or another set of customs with that telecommunication company, where it's actually going to be able to hold a phone in the shoe.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have the all the card holders that are from the recycled uppers coming soon, and yeah, I mean, just a lot of new nostalgic customs that are going to be coming out this year. That again, we just like to have really good stories behind each piece. I think that's most important, and that's what people connect with before the the actual look and the appearance of the shoe.
Oh man, that is fantastic. I love everything you and your company are doing, man. This is great stuff, and really just to finish off the episode, we know what you're doing. We know it's coming up a little bit, little secrecy there. It's okay to understand that, but let us know where to find you, Nick. Where to find your company, so anyone interested can get in touch with you to get some of these kicks made.
Sure, yeah. I mean, all our socials are at theheyyman, TheheyyMan. Yep, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're most active on Instagram, so you can direct message through there. Our email for inquiries is info@theheyyman.com, so you could reach us there. And then our website, theheyyman.com, we have a custom inquiry form on the site as well, and you can go through and you could see what products we have available now and kind of, what we've had in the past.
Awesome, man. Well, Nick, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, man. It literally just seeing those customs, everything you've done, and hearing how it all comes together. It's just super insightful, man. I appreciate the time you spent with us. Sure. And listeners out there, make sure you go follow the Hey Man. Make sure you follow Nick and everything he's doing. It is great stuff. And make sure you follow the podcast. Hit the notification bell, all those good things, and go rack up a lot of views so I can afford one of his customs one day. All right, guys, like let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
No, appreciate everybody out there. Tune in. We'll be back, for another episode next week. And until next time, guys, see ya.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.